Cryptocurrency is still a financial platform that is not totally understood by a segment of the population. To that end, the Wharton School has developed a cryptocurrency confidence index so we can better understand the perception of that marketplace. Pleasure to be joined by Dave Reibstein, marketing professor here at the Wharton School, who is one of the collaborators on this report. Dave, it's been a while. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, and thank you very much for having me on today.
Thank you. Let's start, I guess, by giving us the background on doing a report like this. And obviously, with something like cryptocurrency that is still relatively new for a lot of people, having a better understanding of what people's understanding is probably a good thing.
I think the way you stated it is exactly right. We're trying to understand what people think and their perceptions of the currency. And so it's a new financial instrument, and the question is, so how confident are people about that? And that's what we were trying to do.
All right. So tell us more about the report, how the data is collected, the types of questions that are asked.
So we have a variety of questions, but let's first start, as you say, with how the data is collected. We're using an online panel. We do a sample once a month, and we sample 1,000 people from across the United States. So it's U.S. only, and only looking at 1,000 people. But we've been doing it now for 36 months. Actually, we just did our 38th month because we started January 2023, and we have a variety of questions. The key set of questions that we have is asking people about how confident they are in the currency. And so we do that asking four different questions. And we want to know specifically sort of what it is they think about the future of cryptocurrency. And we're trying to see, does consumer sentiment, does their confidence in it in any way help us predict what's going to happen with crypto prices?
So, right now, what is the report telling us about people's thoughts on cryptocurrency?
Well, what I will tell you is for the first several years, crypto prices and confidence kept going up, and it was sort of hard to separate. Is confidence lagging prices? That is, prices go up, people become more confident, or as they become more confident, do prices that go up? And the answer was it's some of both.
Right.
But what we started seeing is while the prices were going up, we saw confidence starting to go down. And it was like suddenly these two lines that were in parallel started to separate. And it was like, what's this going to tell us? And it's we saw confidence go down. 2 months later, prices started to go down. And so the confidence were precursors to the prices and what it
Right.
is that we saw.
Do we know why the confidence has kind of led us on this path right now?
We don't know why. What we do know is we ask people what is it that influences them, and use that to try and see so what could be leading actually their confidence. And but we don't have, so tell us why you're less confident. We don't
Right.
have that. We have a whole bunch of other questions about, so who are you? Where do you live?
Right.
How confident are you in the Fed and the SEC? We have questions like that are part of it.
Well, and so that is another important part to this because the regulatory side is something that is still very much up in the air, but it is a very important component to where I think most people think cryptocurrency is going to have an impact the next 5, 10, 20 years down the road.
No question about it. It's gonna be part of what happens.
We're
And I might say that I think that owners of crypto are becoming more appreciative of of regulatory playing some role and assuring that it's going to be stable.
How much do you see a lack of understanding still about the platform out there? And if it's out there, obviously, what kind of impact does that have?
There's no question there is a great deal of uncertainty, lack of understanding, as you put it. And yet, I think what that means is that people view this as a risky investment, but they do view it. Actually, To me, what's really interesting is we refer to it as cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
like it's an alternative currency, but to a very large degree, it's viewed like an investment. And and people do see it as a risky one because there's so much uncertainty about what's really behind it and where it's going to go.
Right, and I think that's a key component there, and so then from that perspective, do people feel like it is something good to potentially invest in right now?
So they were feeling more and more positive about it. When President Trump came out supporting it, we do have evidence that you know Trump's support bolstered confidence,
Right,
bolstered prices. But now what we see is some people, I don't know, I can't say they're losing confidence in the president because they
right.
still say he plays a role in it. But obviously some of their confidence has gone down with the currency.
Yeah, and it probably can't help that we get these anecdotal stories, of cryptocurrency being used somehow in illegal activities, and obviously, when you're thinking about the marketing of a product, I know there's the old line about, any press is good press, but in a certainty like this, I think negative press certainly can't help the growth of something like cryptocurrency.
That is absolutely the case. It makes it seem a little bit dirty when it's being used in any criminal activities.
Yeah.
And those have ranged in all sorts of different types of activities. And I think that has led to some of the volatility that we see.
I was going to ask you next. Can you see the level of confidence adjusting as we have seen some of the price volatility in cryptocurrency over the last year and a half?
So to my amazement, the confidence grew over the last year and a half, and
Right,
it's only been in the last few months that we've seen the confidence starting to go down,
right.
and and then subsequently we see the prices going down.
What then are you watchful for from a researcher's perspective as you move forward with this type of work, talking with people every month?
So we're trying to see shifts in who it is that is owning cryptocurrency and who it is that is confident about cryptocurrency. Yeah, one of the things that is amazing to me is, I ask people, so who do you think is most likely to be confident in cryptocurrency, East Coast, West Coast, or the Midwest?
Right.
And people always guess the coast, and it's the Midwest that happens
Huh,
to be the confident, and that really surprises people. And then the question is, so why? And we've tried digging from a researcher's perspective about why that would be the case,
right.
and some of that is just in terms of confidence and centralized, control. And so thinking about the banking system and other centralized control, a lot of the Midwest and a lot of the more conservative sector of the population tends to want things decentralized, and we see that in the data.
And I assume that the mindset of the public, at least right now, is they do see it as an investment. They do see it as a component to move value back and forth, but they probably don't see it as a traditional currency as we know it, like a dollar, $20, etc. And it doesn't feel like we're going to get to that point, anytime in the near future.
So one of the questions that we've asked people in the past is, would you like to be paid in cryptocurrency? And the answer is no, no, no. Even those that are confident say no, don't give me hard cash. I want cash. I have much more confidence in cash. I'll selectively take money I could afford to gamble with and put it into crypto, but don't put my paycheck in crypto. That's too much.
Dave, I appreciate the time today. Thanks very much. All the best.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and enjoy the snow.
Thank you. Dave Reibstein, professor of marketing here at the Wharton School.